Welcome to episode 2 of Oscar and Louise. Oscar is still the only one of the couple in the story. He is learning how to cope, living alone in his new home in Hidden Springs. He's got a job. He works as a fan in a music career. He wants to be a rock star. He's still got to learn how to play the guitar. He's heading off at the moment to the Blue Building, and that we just passed is the wedding centre where he and Louise will get married, although he doesn't even know Louise yet. He's never met her at this point. We're going to see the full romance once she arrives. So now he's arrived in the Blue Building. This is one of my builds. It's a Savvy Seller store. And it's got several different types of shops in a little mall. It's 3 stories high. Each story has a foyer. And here we are on the second level is a music store, which is where Oscar is actually heading for, because he wants to buy a guitar. Now there's a blonde. I think he should meet her, introduce himself, because he needs to meet Sims. He doesn't know that Louise is coming. All he knows is he's lonely. He's trying to make a new life for himself after he lost all of his family. But this particular blonde isn't interested. As a matter of fact, she ran away as soon as he appeared. So he didn't even get to introduce himself to her. As you can see, there's quite a lot of musical instruments in this room. And the Savvy Seller mats, you can see there, I've recoloured them so they look like the carpet, but they're just slightly darker than the carpet. So all of those instruments are sitting on Savvy Seller mats. So he's taken this guitar out into the foyer. I don't think it's a very good guitar for a rock star to have. That woman walking up the steps at the moment, she is one of his co-workers, and we'll see a lot more of her. She's married though, and I think she's older than he is as well. Don't know who that chap is. He's just one of the townies. Now this blonde looks like the one that just ran away, but I think it could be her clone because she's wearing different clothes. She just looks exactly the same, and she's a barista bar attendant. So Oscar didn't notice her. He's too busy trying to decide if he likes that guitar or not. So he's going to put the guitar back while he has a think about it. And in the meantime, he's going to run downstairs and see if he can get to meet that blonde. He seems to have a bit of a thing for blondes. Actually, I think he likes all the ladies. He's a very flirty Sim. I haven't noticed him doing any flirting yet, though. He's still getting to know him, what's happening in Hidden Springs. Here she is.
Siba.
So that's all he's going to do, say hello, go back inside. She's going to play with the phone. Aha, he's decided he wants that guitar after all. So that's what he's gone inside for. Waiting for the attendant to turn up to allow him to buy that guitar through the cash register. There's 2 ways you can get these things from the Savvy Seller store. You can click on the cash register and then you get a list of everything in the store. And you can pick the item. But there's so much in this store that I decided not to go that way. Now the other way is 2 possible options. One would be to click on the Savvy Seller mat and you can choose from something on the mat, or you could just click on the actual item you want and choose to buy it. And that's the option that he took in the end. Just clicked on that guitar. So now he's bought that guitar. He paid 700 simoleons for it, and it's in his inventory. And no new attendants turned up dressed in a hospital uniform. Not a uniform, a hospital gown. But he's got to go to work. Oscar's off to work. For some reason he's decided he's going to run all the way to work in the rain. That's his work clothes. And the other Sims, male Sims at least there, who work with him and are level 1 in their career, wear the same outfit. So there's the theatre. It's very wet and rainy. Well, that's not Oscar coming out. That's somebody else. He's wearing the same clothes as Oscar. Bit of a storm. So here's Oscar. Doesn't have an umbrella yet. He's taking a taxi home. We'll have to get him an umbrella. It looks like he wants to learn the guitar skill. But when he gets home, he just sits down quietly at the front of the TV, watching the romantic channel. He's also a hopeless romantic. He likes to watch romance on the TV. Next morning. That's the theatre. So he's just been there and had his guitar class. So now he's got some more lifetime happiness points because it was 2 wishes that he's now had granted. And he's thinking about that blonde. If only he could work out how to take her out. He did ask her out, but she didn't want to go. So he's gone across the road to the elixir consignment store and he's rocking in front of the fire. But he needs money, so I've sent him off to the greenhouse where he's collecting suns. And when he's got suns, we'll sell them before they lose their value, because suns do lose value very quickly. If you get them fresh, they're 100 simoleons each. If you keep them too long, they're 0 simoleons each. And too long isn't very long. So I don't know why I've gone and clicked on so many. You've only got to click on one and they'll pick up all of the suns in that particular room. It's hailing. And he doesn't seem to mind. He hasn't got an umbrella, so he's just got to get soaked. He's feeling a bit stressed too. Needs some fun. At this point I've got all the weather turned on in options. If the rain starts to get me down badly, I'll turn the rain off. Don't like too much rain. So he's home now from the greenhouse. He just collected a lot of suns and picked a few wildflowers, which he's now sold all of the suns and all of the flowers. So he can go home now. Before going to sleep, he's decided to get some guitar practice in. He's had a guitar class, so he knows a little bit about it now, but he needs to do a lot of playing and practicing that guitar. I don't think it's a real good guitar for rock and roll, but it'll help him learn how to play the guitar. Tempting to let him play all night, but he's got a few jobs to do indoors, and then he's got to sleep and get ready for work the next morning. And his toilet's clogged up. This is the next morning, so he's going to have to unclog that as part of him getting himself ready for work. I think that the things that I'm going to get first up, since his toilet's clogged, will be a new toilet and shower. Just upgrade his bathroom for him. That's what I'll use that money for. That's finally unclogged. You can have a shower. He's got bills to pay as well, and he might as well say hello to the paper girl. And there's that stray dog there shredding the papers. Fortunately, he's got enough money to pay the bills this time. I will get him the No Bills Ever lifetime reward shortly, because it's a little bit difficult for me to constantly remember, and I don't want to have to add any more mods to the games, because I know there is a mod available that'll pay the bills for me automatically. But I've got so many mods in the game already, I don't really need to add a mod that will do something, or similarly, something that I can do just by giving him a lifetime reward. So he's headed off to the festival grounds, and he's found a new sim to get to know. It's Granny Shoe. So the more sims he gets to know, the more sims he'll know, and he'll won't be quite such a stranger around town. And you never know who the sims he does meet also know, and they may introduce him to some interesting other sims. But while he's at the festival grounds, I'll mostly get him to collect some wildflowers to sell and see what else he can collect, maybe some butterflies, and then he might do a little bit of skating. And once he's done that, if he's still got time, he'll either go over to the greenhouse to collect him some more suns and flowers and seeds, or he'll head off for work. We'll just see what happens next. There's plenty of wildflowers around. And here's a hot dog eating competition about to start. I'll see if he can do that instead of picking the flowers. Doesn't look like it. He's going to have to just watch it. There's Granny Shoe. She's booked in for the other competitor. As soon as this is over, we'll get him to go pick those flowers. And get a lot of money from picking flowers. Granny Shoe's doing pretty well there. There's lots of other sims there. Well, he can get Oscar can now go off and keep picking some flowers. I think Granny Shoe won that competition, the hot dog eating competition. So we've sold Oscar's flowers. We don't want to keep them because they lose value, and we're picking flowers because we need money. That's one of that townie there. He's playing soccer. Get Oscar to play soccer at some stage in one of the festivals. At the moment he's still picking flowers. It's Granny Shoe and a few others. I think that's the whole three of them that were in the hot dog eating competition and now skating. So now Oscar's finished picking flowers for a while, he can go get his skates on. There's quite a few activities that are available at the festival. This is a summer festival at Hidden Springs, and it's just the default festival ground that came with the world, or with Seasons. I think it was added because I had the world before Seasons was released. It's only the worlds that were released after Seasons was released that you've got to go searching for the festival grounds. The others were added with the patch. So Oscar's off. Off to work by the look of it. So while he's at work, we'll fix up his bathroom. I don't think he really needs a new toilet because he's going to get the very first lifetime reward I buy for him will be steel bladder. So he doesn't really need a toilet that never breaks, but he's got one anyway. And I've got a particular shower that I like my Sims to have, the groovy shower, because it's got high environment and cleanliness, or whatever that's called, hygiene, and it's also not as expensive as some of the other showers that have lower hygiene or environment points. We might as well go all out here and spend all of his money on his bathroom so he can get an expensive sink as well. So we do the kitchen sink at the same time. That's probably the top kitchen sink that's available. We've still got some simoleons left over, so let's see if we can get him a new basin to wash his hands in. You can get the most expensive one. He's still got enough simoleons from the flowers that he picked. He wants a really nice house because he's got to encourage some young female sim to take him on, and if he can offer her a beautiful house that's well appointed, he thinks that this will help his chances. Now I've got lots of custom content mirrors that are beautiful, but I do try to use something that came from EA unless I really want one of the custom content items. So while he's been at work, he's got an opportunity. He's going to have to read that book. I think it's Floating in a Sea of Fans, because he's a fan. He's at level 1 of his career still. So his work is over for the evening, and he could just go straight home, but there's nothing at home for him. He's lonely there. So he's decided to go next door to the bistro to eat. And we will go down there and investigate all of those Sims that are hanging around outside and just see what's up over at the bistro. So there's Oscar. He's dressed up. He's got a jacket on, not his old clothes that he had before. He's going to go inside to eat. And there's a cat there. I wonder if it's a stray. Cheeky McFluff. So if you're watching the videos on the McFluff story, you'll know all about Cheeky. I added Gertie and the cats to this world as townies because they're both Oscar and Louise, and the McFluffs are set in Hidden Springs. And I've got the world set up much the same way in both games. Oh, there's a zombie. So that's the zombie talking to that old man. He's pretending to be frightened of him. He's laughing. The Sims in Hidden Springs seem to like to laugh at the zombies. So don't seem to be very frightened of them. Gertie's got 15 cats, but I haven't put all of them into Hidden Springs for the Oscar and Louise game, just some of them. But they do wander off. Our townies here can enjoy them. So that's one cat we won't be adding to the Oscar and Louise household. There's plenty happening outside while Oscar's inside eating. This is the middle of town, and we can see buildings all around us that are the town buildings for the round town. So that's a sim that perhaps Oscar should get to know when he comes outside. So I'll get him to introduce himself to her. I think that's the grocery store off in the distance, that greyish, fawn-coloured sort of a brownish building. Looks like she's running away. So much for Oscar getting to chat with her. Oh no, she's just gone there to chase the cat. She wants to go and play with Cheeky McFluff.
Oh, Harpoo.
So here's Oscar. He's tracked her down. Pink hearts. There's possibilities. Oops, there's a deer. It's looking hopeful, friendly, plus signs above their heads. That dumpster looks very tempting, but I don't think I'll get Oscar to go diving in the dumpster tonight. But I could send him there some other time. Hopefully by the time Louise arrives in town, Oscar will have quite a few friends. But I don't think he'll have any romantic interests. I don't think any of the ladies from Hidden Springs are very keen on the idea, in spite of poor Oscar's efforts. At this point, he feels as though he's destined to be alone forever. They're both getting sleepy. Maybe it's time to send him home. She's gone. That's a paparazzi there. It looks like he just drew attention to himself, didn't he? And got himself a gold star. He needs those gold stars because he wants to be in the rock career. He wants to be a rock and roll star. That's his lifetime wish. So he's going to have to get noticed a lot. So he's counting that as a win, is he? Possible love interest. Not so sure about that, Oscar. I think you're being a bit hopeful. So I think this could be the end of this episode. We just got to see Oscar around town, so thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye bye for now.